On November the 13th, 2022, 4 university students were stabbed to death inside of their rental property at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. On December the 30th, 2022, police arrested 28-year-old Bryan Christopher Kohberger and charged him with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony murder for walking into the home. The state of Idaho has also going to seek the death penalty if he is found guilty. Jury selection for this trial is set for July the 30th, 2025. Opening statements are planned for August the 11th, 2025, and the court has reserved dates all the way through November the 7th, 2025. While he awaits, Kohberger is being held at the Ada County Jail in Boise, and the trial itself will take place at Ada County. Early biological records show that Bryan Kohberger was born on November the 21st, 1994 in a small community of Albertsville, Pennsylvania. When he was 9 years old, he began to notice visual snow. Visual snow is a disorder in which a person continuously sees tiny flickering dots with bursts of lights that cause sensitivity that have a tendency to come and go. Between the fall of 2000 and early 2012, a user called himself EXROS with visual snow. This person wrote 118 messages on a support board hosted at tabatalk.com. The profile picture looked like Kohberger. The listed birth date matched his, and the account email and hometown lined up with the details later confirmed by a major news outlet. For those reasons, most reporters have concluded that the forum post almost certainly came from him, though no court has ever verified this. Readers noticed that the online diary gave a step-by-step look at his teenage years. It began when the writer turned 14 and he started complaining about full-time static that never went away. He asked strangers whether or not high caffeine use or hours at a computer or even migraine medicine could trigger it. He sounded frantic, writing, "I am 15 in 21 days and I don't wish I'm dead because of this horrible thing." On September the 23rd, 2010, he returned after almost a year away and said he could no longer recall simple childhood moments. "I used to remember everything," he wrote, "but now I am just a blank soul living in the now." He described ringing in his ears, pressure in his head, and hours of loss to worrying about the snow in his sight. From late 2010 into early 2011, the posts kept coming, sometimes weekly, sometimes minutes apart. He said reading had become very hard for him, not because the words were tough, but because the letters looked as if they were drifting on the page. He felt less present in the world, often calling the sensation depersonalization. In April of 2011, he posted a long claim titled, "I Know the Cause or Cure of Visual Snow." In it, he floated 2 bold ideas. First, that visual snow might be an inflammation of blood vessels. Second, that a buildup of fungus in food could make it worse. He urged others to follow the ultra-restrictive diet he had pieced together from research papers and self-help books. Forum members pushed back, excusing him for acting like a salesman and sounding arrogant. He argued that he only wanted to help. By May 12, 2011, his mood looked even darker. He wrote a list of feelings: constant depression and a sense that life was pointless, flashes of anger at family members, and a fear that he had become an emotionless shell. He claims he could do or say anything and feel only a tiny stab of regret. 2 days later, he had admitted that a migraine drug called Tamamax made him so irritable that he once smashed a table for no reason and laughed about it afterwards. On July the 5th, 2011, he was 16. He composed the longest entry of them all. He compared his life to playing a fantasy video game. He said ordinary moments, like hugging a relative, wearing a t-shirt, watching holidays slip by, felt fake, as if he were standing behind a piece of glass. He saw himself as a sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man, though he was still just a teenager. In the letter, he also worried that the buzzing in his ears and the static in his eyes might be demons mocking him. He wondered what would happen if he let go of reality in its entirety. His last stretch of writing came in December of 2011. He confessed that 2 years of poor sleep and non-stop snow had left him numb. On February the 20th, 2012, he posted once more, saying he had finally accepted the disorder. He no longer felt the need to stay off the board because it did not scare him anymore. Though he admitted that accepting might itself be a bad thing, after that, the account was silent. Experts explain that visual snow syndrome is a neurological condition, not an eye disease. People with VSS see flashing dots, colored specks, swirling shapes around their entire visual field, even in darkness. Many also get floaters, bright after images, severe light sensitivity, and poor night vision. Doctors do not fully understand why the brain misfires this way, but recent scans suggest extra activity in the visual cortex. No confirmed cure exists, though tinted glasses, migraine drugs, and experimental brain stimulation therapies sometimes ease the symptoms. Friends later said that Kohberger tried many diets, at one point switching to an extreme version of veganism. Records show that around the same time he was also fighting obesity. He took up heavy exercising and eventually needed loose skin surgery after losing a large amount of weight. He joined a high school law enforcement program in 2011 but was dismissed. He also applied for military training as an Army Ranger, yet he got turned down. In those years, he spent hours on visual snow forum looking for answers. Investigators have not said whether visual snow played a role in the murders. One witness in the King Road house, identified in court papers as DM, told police she saw a dark-clad man walk past her and leave without meeting her eyes. Some observers have speculated that a sudden surge of adrenaline on the limits of the peripheral vision in someone with visual snow could explain that detail, although no direct evidence supports the idea. Looking back, the online diary paints a picture of a boy who felt trapped by buzzing ears, flashing dots, disordered thoughts, and social pain. He spoke of bullying about his weight, of drinking problems he later kicked, and moments when he wished life would simply stop. He also declared a fierce drive to solve hard puzzles and a habit of telling others how to fix their problems, even when they did not want to listen. Whether prosecutors will try to introduce any of his history at trial remains unknown. The case will more than likely focus on DNA, phone data, security cameras, and the knife evidence already described in the court records. For now, the only certainty is that Bryan Kohberger stands accused of killing 4 young people in their sleep, and a jury will decide his fate between August and November of 2025.
They hate you. You're gonna die.